Good morning and good evening, everyone. We are on module 4 and we're talking today about wing men and wing women. And this is all part of a series that is about people and talents, and more specifically about building our ring of steel. So let me just quickly go back there. And now today the slides doesn't want to move. Just 1 second, just getting the slides to move. Slides doesn't want to move. Just hold on 1 second. Okay, everyone, just checking the slides quickly again. They didn't want to move. They're moving now, so we're all good. So basically what we're going to talk about today is how to identify those who have got your back. Now, we've had a lot of conversation on the topic of the ring of steel, how important it is to have a ring of steel around us. We've spoken about having an advisory board. We've spoken about things like having a dream team, but all those things can be incredibly formal. And so today I want to really jump a little bit more into the informalities of having a ring of steel around us. So we're going to look a little bit at understanding the principles behind how 1 + 1 = 11. And this is as relevant in business as it is in your life. We're going to talk about the value of wing men or wing women in business, and what they say about the quality of your interpersonal relationships, and then also about situations where wingman or wingwoman add immeasurable value and ways to return the favor. So this is a little bit of a different session, has to do with your business, but it has a lot to do with interpersonal relationships. So if interpersonal relationships has not really been your thing of late, hold on to your horses, because we're going to dive right into it. So for those of you who are new here and has not heard from me before, my name's Landi Jac. And in this series, we've been talking about the ring of steel support system. And the reason why this is something that I love talking about is that in our business, and when I say our, I talk about my husband and business partner, Mike Hancock. In our business, we like to go all around the world and meet amazing people and build relationships with those amazing people. You know, it's no use if you go around and you meet these people and you shake their hands and you get their name, but there's not something more coming from it. And I think many times what we expect to come from that as business owners is prosperity and profitability and the ability to sell our products and services. And interestingly to us, today's session doesn't really have a lot to do with that. Today has to do more with the relationship only. And the spin-off effect on that many times is more than we can ever imagine. But we are not always taught to think like that. So just to refresh your memories, up until now, we've seen in the Ring of Steel how we can insert an advisory board in there. It's just fantastic to have people who are not necessarily in the capacity of your mentor or coach, but who can sit on a board and give you advice. Usually people that's much older than you, people with much more life experience than you. We live, unfortunately, in a society now where elders are pushed aside. And by doing that, there's a lot of skill, there's a lot of life experience, there's a lot of wisdom that gets lost. And what I find is many times missing in business, what's lost is their ability that they had to build relationships with people, and to not only build those relationships and make them last. So we've also spoken about your dream team and how you're not meant to do everything alone. You know, if you are someone who's up until this point worked alone, and suddenly you have a partner in your life, or maybe that's a business partner or a life partner, you understand what I mean, is that it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference to only be two people doing something. It makes even a bigger difference when it's three people. It makes a bigger difference when it's four. And when you get to employees of 50 or 100, whatever, it does not come without its challenges, but then you look back at your solo entrepreneurship days and go, we're actually not meant as people to do this alone. And the same principle apply in family. You know, we don't only build a dream team for ourselves in business, we're meant to actually have a dream team in family. And if that is family members that you don't like, or they don't like you and you don't get along, then you have to go and find soul family or other family members to build around you, because you're not meant to do it alone. Then we spoke about number experts and how you need those boring people around you. You need them. You know, many times we avoid number people and we avoid accountants and auditors and payroll administrators, because many of you on this call are really people with incredible imaginations. You're people who's creative, and that's why you're here. That's why you're in the game of entrepreneurship, because you need variety and you get bored easily and you're sick of your corporate job and you never want to go back there. But the problem with that is you get so upset by those people who suppressed you previously that now you don't insert those things back into your business, and it's needed. You can be the star, you can be the creator, you can be the person who's the face off, you can be the one who inspire other people, but you still need these number experts and people that go, hey, have you reached your goals? And have you looked at your finances? Or have you budgeted? You know, and all those things. But we steer away from that. So having them on your ring of steel is sort of having a few bad cops on there, but you need them as well. And then almost the opposite of that is to say, but we need wellness coaches on our team as well. These are the people who look after our mind. And they make sure that this mind is not running away with us. And I'm not just talking about your mind, because your mind can really invent some crap. Let me tell you, your mind is a genius. It really can invent some crap, and it can automate very well. And unfortunately, because of that, it automates a lot of old belief systems and an old way of doing things and all that. So you need someone in your life that keeps you intact. And it doesn't always have to be a professional person. I mean, many of you on this call, part of the circle of excellence, you tap our brains, you sort of check in with us to keep you accountable and to brainstorm whether you're still sane. But a team of wellness coaches is fantastic. And that may be a partner, that may be a best friend that you meet for a coffee once a week, that may be a parent if you still got a parent that's alive, or someone that you just really trust with lots of experiences and lots of life experiences. And many times we have these people, but we don't raise our awareness to say, hey, actually, I do have a ring of steel. I do have an advisory board member. I do have two people working for me. I do have my auditor and my payroll person, and I have my, confidant that I check in. It's about raising your awareness and becoming aware of this ring of steel. And it's the awareness of this ring of steel that gives you the magic. Because when you become aware of a ring of steel, you realize you're not alone anymore. You realize you do have support around you. So today we're touching on the wingmen and wingwomen and what that really means. And when you talk about having a wingman or a wingwoman around you, you talk about the power of collaboration. You talk about the power of 1 + 1 that equals, well, I almost said it, I almost gave it away. 1 + 1 = 11. I wanted to say 1 + 1 = magic. Think about it. You know, we think about magic as something that's woo and it's out there, and the fairy godmother is going to come and she's going to go poof and it's going to appear in front of you. But many of you can testify, who sits on this call, is that your life was a 1, and then you met another 1, and then suddenly everything was 11. Suddenly you learned more things. Suddenly you start viewing yourself differently. Suddenly you get introduced to all these people. Suddenly ideas coming together with another person's idea causes something amazing. And what I like about the number 11 is it looks like a doorway, because it is. You've got a pillar on the one side and you've got a pillar on the other side. So what we've created here is a portal. So if you're going to sit at home all the time and you're not going to get out there and open yourself up to the power of collaboration, you're going to remain a 1. And there's nothing wrong with being a 1. Maybe you're a leader, you know, maybe you don't want to be around people. Maybe you don't feel like collaborating. Maybe you want to sit there on your own pedestal and inspire from that point. But remaining one means you're not going to go through the doorway. You're not going to move through the portal because you're not tapping into the power of collaboration. So when you talk about having wingmen and wingwomen, I'm really in many respects talking about people who's got your back. I'm talking about people who you are contributing to, and in return, they're contributing to you. Not because it has to, you know, you have to give in order to receive, but because of an energy exchange. You know, if you give something to other people and they give something of value back to you, you are putting an energy exchange into motion. And when you put an energy exchange into motion, you go through portals. You go into new dimensions. You're having new experiences. And I've seen this happen over and over again. I've seen it happen over and over again where people keep things to themselves and they don't reach out to other people, and they live in this whole thing of people can't be trusted or whatever, and they end up really lonely. They end up with a malnutrition. And that malnutrition comes from not reaching out to other people. And that malnutrition comes from not wanting to build relationships with other people because they disappoint you, because they criticize you, and people get so scared and they get so sick of this stuff that they isolate. And that is number one. Number one means you are alone. You only believe what you believe. You're not open to influence. And if you're not open to influence, you cannot influence other people. That's why you need people. That's why you have to work through the crap that's holding you back. That's why you have to learn to trust. That's why you have to reach out and mingle with people. And even if that means rolling your eyes 1,000 times, do it anyway. And try and understand them and try where they come from so that you can go through that portal. So you too can go through that portal so that you with your wingmen and wingwomen can go through the other portal. So you make music with other people. If you're sitting at home alone, you're playing only one instrument, and it's a sad story because no one ever hears your music. Whereas if you're open to collaborate with other people, you are entering an orchestra and your instrument starts forming harmony with other people's instruments. It's a true story. It's a fairy tale. And if you're not willing to subscribe to that fairy tale, you go alone. So how do we get started on this? If you go, okay, I'll collaborate, I'll try, I'll reach out to some people, I'll maybe partner, I'll think about it, then the way for you to start is to go and seek out your champions, because surprise, surprise, there's already people in your life that is deeply in love with you. They love who you are. And you know what's the very weird thing? The people who's already in our life are those people who we do not pretend in front of. We are ourselves. Those are the people we sit with behind the scenes. We're drinking a wine with them, or we're meeting them for coffee. They see us when we're at our worst, and guess what? They love us anyway. They've seen our highs, they've seen our lows, they've seen our trials, they've seen our tribulations, and they love us anyway. They're on Facebook, they like our stuff. We might be posting the stupidest thing. You almost know that's the person that's going to like what you post. You know, that is the person that's going to, you know, send you notes when you need it the most. You know, that's the person that you miss. That's the person where you go, oh, I haven't spoken to that one in a while. I'm going to reach out to them. So if you are unaware of your champions, I want to ask you to go and get some sticky notes or get a piece of paper or go and write something on a whiteboard and get those names down. These are the people who love you. These are the people who open portals and pathways for you, and you don't even know it. Those are the people that's right underneath your nose, and you take them for granted because they're just always going to be there for you, right? And those are the people I want you to reach out to. And how are you going to do it? You're not going to reach out to them because you want to sell them something. You're not going to reach out to them because you want to see if there's synergy between you or if you potentially can collaborate. You're going to get those names down, even if you only find 4. And you're going to reach out to them with one intention and one intention only, and that is to get to know them better and to build a relationship with them. That's all you're going to do. This might feel a bit scary to some of you because you're going to go, Landi, we're in entrepreneurship. We need to be results driven. We need to be goal driven. I'm telling you, no, you're only going to reach out to these people to practice relationship building and to be grateful for them in your life. And that in itself will make portals open and magic happen. You see, we can't sit here all the time and just talk to you about how to make money. We can't sit here all the time and talk to you about selling and marketing and those things, which is really important. Those are your freedom formulas. You need them in order to be a successful entrepreneur, but we will not be doing our job if we don't sit here and tell you, you need people in your life and you need to identify these people and build relationships with them. So this is not just about finding these people. This is about becoming a wingman and wingwoman for each other as well. So think of it like being a autopilot, or think about it like being a co-pilot for someone. You cannot fly your plane alone. I can't say that to you enough. You know, you can't sit there the whole day on YouTube. You can't get up in the morning and make yourself a coffee and try and create magic and influence people and be a leader and have money in your bank account and grow if you don't allow other people to steer the wheel with you. Many of you on this call is trying to steer the ship alone. You're doing this alone. It's no way to go about it. Maybe you sit here today and your heart's really heavy because you've been going alone in it for a long time. And I commend you for being part of the Circle of Excellence group or being part of the Octopus Tribe, but then you have to use that service. And the way of using that service is to go and build pilots and autopilots in your life. Maybe you find that in Mike. Maybe you find that in Landi. Maybe you find that in Diane. Maybe you find it in Chris. Maybe you find it in your fellow Circle of Excellence members that you don't even know. Maybe you go onto your Octopus Tribe and go and seek out what's seeking you. Friendships, partnerships, pilots, co-pilots. Reach out to people and ask for help. And by that, I don't mean message someone and say, I need you, and I need someone to listen to my crap. By that, I mean reach out to people and give yourself. Give some of your heart. Share some of your stories. And make it an easy place for other people to do the same so that you can follow these partnerships. So what I'm talking about here really is deepening your relationships with other people. When we look at our businesses, we see an organizational structure. When we look at our business, we see a bank account and we look at the numbers in there. When we look at our business, we look at our blueprint. We look at what we're posting on social media. What we should be looking at is who we are and the people that surround us. That is your business. Your business is the people that you're on WhatsApp with all the time. The people who's you in your business is the people who you share your life and your stories with. It's the people you brainstorm with. It's the clients that you're serving. It's the people that you're influencing. Your business is a people. Your business is not an entity. And if we forget that, we don't just lose everything, meaning our freedom, our prosperity, and our purpose. We also lose ourselves. So for you not to have relationships with people and for you not wanting to hang out with people, you're in danger of losing yourself. So what are these wingman strategies? It wouldn't help me just sit here and inspire you. I'm going to give you some strategies to put proper wingmen in place, but more importantly, for you to become a wingman or a wingwoman to other people. Because if you don't have try and say fast, wingman, wingwoman, wing, becomes wing-wang, wingwoman. If you don't have them around you, it's probably because you've not been one. You've not been a wingman or a wingwoman to other people. So this is some wingman strategies that you can deploy today in order to become of use to other people. I think the big thing on this infographic is the words there on the top right-hand side, the power of getting support. And here's the secret. You're probably not going to get support if you are not giving support to other people. So here are some of the ways that you can go and become a good wingman or a good wingwoman to other people. You can become other people's personal MC. Now, you may not be a speaker, but I can absolutely assure you, me and Mike has seen many people speak. We've been at many events listening to people, and most of those people get introduced in the worst way that a person can get introduced. So you can help your friends, and you can help your family, and you can help your clients and your support system with this big time. You can be an absolute shining star in people's lives by saying to them, hey, I see you have a webinar coming up. Is there actually anyone that's going to give you some good words? Is there anyone who's going to introduce you and tell people how absolutely amazing you are? Or maybe you're a good friend, you know, maybe you're a good peer. Maybe you go and watch someone speak and you see the person coming on stage and you see them being introduced by some blushing person who didn't even go through the effort to look at the LinkedIn profile of your friends before they started to share their magic. And you look at that and you think, what a freaking tragedy. I know this person. I know the nights that they've gone through. I know the committees that they sit on. I know how precious they are to their clients. I know how hard they've worked to get to this point. And you're sitting in their audience and you hear the person introduce them like, hi, this is Sarah. Sarah's a nice person. And, you know, I don't really know what to say. And, oh, I'll let her tell you how great she is. How many times have you heard that? That, in my mind, is absolutely pathetic. If a person gets introduced like that, that's pathetic. So you can set that wrong right for your friends. And you can become their personal MC. And you can say to them when they freak out and they're going to have a presentation in the boardroom, you can say to them, look, I know you're going to sit in that boardroom. I know no one's going to actually represent you there. I know no one's going to introduce you. So I'm going to get into my best freaking suit and clothes. I'm coming with you to that board meeting. I'm not really going to say a lot, but I am sure as hell going to position you properly in front of those people. I don't care if you blush and feel like the world's going to want to swallow you. That's what I'm going to do to you. That is how you build rapport. That is the type of stuff where a person walks out of the boardroom and they look at you and they go, wow, that was amazing. And we did so well. And then they stop. And then they look you in the eye and then their eyes shoot full of tears. And they go, I actually can't believe what you just did there for me. And I bet you can hear this as well. No one's ever done that for me before. That is the power that you hold within you. That is what you don't access if you don't want to be with people. That's what happens if you don't reach out to people or nurture your relationships. Your boardroom buddy. This is another example. You may not want to be the personal MC, but you may want to accompany some of your peers to the boardroom. Why is this such an act of love? This is an act of love because your peer or your client or the person you know in industry is going to that boardroom and they are scared to death. I can't tell you how many Circle of Excellence members I work with that has everything going for them. They've got the product, they've got the service, they've got the community, they've got the experience, but they really lack the confidence of sitting in a boardroom. Why does that happen? That happens because we've got something like corporations, which are groups of people working together for a company. They all earn a salary, they all get pushed really, really hard, and they all get tired and they get bored, right? So now they hear there's going to be a board meeting and they hear someone's going to pitch at that meeting and they are all sugared up. They've been sitting there the whole day in their office. They just want to be with their family. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And now you come into that boardroom and you want to pitch them something and you are the perfect thing to bully. So it happens. It's unfortunately toxic environments. And many of you have to go into that environment to sell your products and services because you feel those people need you. And that's very noble, but it's sometimes very, very scary. So by employing wingmen and wingwomen into your life, and I'm not talking about you paying the money, I'm talking about you giving so much that people want to have this energy exchange with you, You can take these people to boardrooms with you, or you can go to boardrooms with them. And by doing that, you are magnifying your brand. You are magnifying you. And so the moment you walk into that boardroom with your buddy, the impression or the perception that you're creating in front of those board members is, we a business, we're not just an individual, and we know what we're doing. This is something else you can do for other people. You can say to them, I'll come to your boardroom with you under your brand. If you come to my boardroom with me under my brand, guess what? You've just built a team member and it's not costing you a cent. You are just being, wait for it, a nice person. And being a nice person pays off, right? Third one there, this is another wingman strategy. You can become a conversationalist. And this is one that blows my mind. People, I'm not saying I have it perfect. I'm not saying I'm doing it right? I'm raising our awareness as a collective. But the conversationalist is the person who is genuinely interested in other people. It's a rare specimen. Honestly, it's the person who go and sit down with you when you enter a room, look you straight in the eye and go, hey, how are you doing? How have you been? I've noticed your energy is a little bit down. And you go, oh no, I'm fine. And they don't just drop it, right? They go, I know you. I'm in your space. I know you've just had a flu. I can hear you're a little bit short. Are you okay? And it doesn't just stop there. It's not just, I actually had a little bit of a rough week, and I really, really do, I really do appreciate that you're asking me, but this person takes it further. They don't leave it just there. They go, look, we've been together for a long time, coming to these speaker association meetings, and I've really noticed that you're quite fashionable. Is that something you're passionate about? Hey, the person go, what? Are you showing interest in me? It's almost too good to be true, right? Are you asking about my interest in fashion? Or, hey, I saw on Facebook you just got a puppy dog. You have to tell me everything about this puppy dog. Show genuine interest in people by becoming a conversationalist. Your business will explode. People don't know what to do with this energy because these people does not exist anymore. And I know some of you sitting on this call are like this, but you lost that part of yourself. You forgot about that part of yourself, and I'm urging you to give it back, because this is the alchemy that's required for you as a person and for your business to go to the next level. We get the deal maker. The deal maker is the person who always go, hey, I know about a business that does this, and I know about another business that does this, and you two should merge, and you two should put a deal on the table because you will be brilliant if you do that. And then they don't just introduce the two businesses to each other in an awkward way. They set up a meeting, and they're part of that meeting. They're helping the two businesses bridge the deal. In other words, they go, okay, business A, Greg, Heather, I'm going to tell you about each other. Here we are, the three of us sitting. Greg, let me tell you about Heather. Heather has done this, and she's appeared on TV, and she's great, and she's fantastic, and she's this type of person, and what she likes is this, and be careful, what pisses her off is that, and blah, blah, blah. And Heather, this is Greg, and Greg does this, and this is how we met Greg, and this is what he's been involved in, and this is what he's been through, and this is what you can get out of Greg, and this is what makes him happy, this is what makes him sad, this is his preferences. Okay, now, I've not just introduced you. I've allowed you to bridge what you don't know about each other and find common denominators by accelerating a process where you possibly can do something amazing together. And if anything, I've introduced two people who potentially can be each other's wingman or wingwomen, and who knows, build a lifelong friendship and have each other's back. That's what the deal maker does. They see 1 + 1 = 11 everywhere. And you can do that for other people. And guess what? They can start doing it for you. You get the socialite. We all know the socialite. They're out there. They're doing the parties. They're bringing people together. They love people in social settings. They love people making new friends. And you know what? This is something I used to do a lot many moons ago when I was just out of becoming a student. I would have I would throw a party once a quarter. and I would give it a theme and get people over. And the whole idea of that was that people get out of their comfort zones, and the idea was that they meet other people, and the idea was that they have freaking fun and laugh. I mean, don't you find people don't laugh that much? All you have to do is to go and sit in traffic and look at people's faces. It is miserable. Let me tell you, the misery is real, right? And you look at people left and right and you go, do you laugh? Do you have fun? And so I used to throw these parties for people to come and dress up. I gave it a theme, and I said to people, I threatened them, also, I'll literally kill you if you don't come in your suit, you know? If the theme is fairies, you need to come in your fairy suit. And it was amazing. It grew and it grew beyond what I ever thought. I mean, I started it like with 10 people, whatever. And before I knew it, I had a quarterly party to arrange with 200 plus people at that party. And I had to start hiring halls and whatever to get people to come over. And I tell you, the friendships that came out of those quarterly parties and the fun, the photos, the camaraderie, the feeling you're part of a group of people was absolutely incredible. And it's actually something I'm considering for the Octopus House again, just because it was so much fun. And you know what? It initially costed me money. Ultimately, I was charging people a small amount of money just to cover for the decoration and the welcoming drink they would receive. And before I knew it, the thing freaking exploded. So that tells me there's a need. And you have that power in you to give people in that need. It is about business, but it's about 10 times more than business. It's about the relationships you build with other people, and it's the way in which you serve other people and the way you make them feel. So then, of course, you can be people's stiff lip. It's a funny thing to say. You know, we think of serving other people by introducing them or going to them to the boardroom or starting a conversation and showing interest, but everyone needs a stiff lip, and you can be other people's stiff lip. That means you can be people's devil's advocate. You can be people's bad cop, and you can put yourself out like that. You can say, hey, why don't me and you get on a call once a quarter and I'll be your bad cop. I'll ask you the tough questions. I'll be your devil's advocate. And let's see where that leads us. And if you have a good enough relationship with the person, it will lead you down incredible rabbit holes where you go, wow, no one's ever asked me that. You know, the more you become yourself and the more you get comfortable with who you are, the more intimidating your personality can get to other people, which is fantastic because everyone leave you alone. But it's not that fantastic, because the fact that you intimidate other people mean people don't challenge you anymore and people don't ask the tough questions. So you need that stiff lip, even if it's a parent, even if it's a person that you are trying to avoid, even if it's your payroll person or your auditor, you need that stiff lip, and you can be a stiff lip for other people. Same with analysts, right? You need people who analyze what you're doing. You can be an analyst for other people. It's like the numbers expert, right? You can reach out to people and say, look, I've been watching you from the sideline. You are doing amazing. You are popular with people. Gosh, you've got the best relationship. You're the one that brings people together. You do the parties. But I know your cash flow is a problem like always. I know you always in some cash flow deficit because you're a bright, shiny object person. You're the one that go, ooh, we're going to do this. Oh, here's a new thing. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, let's go there. Let's do this. And then you get into the position over and over again where you've run out of cash flow. I'm going to become your analyst. So I'll be the one that helps you with the KPIs. I'll help you with the goals and the measurements, and I'll help you track it. Now, we look at this type of person as some sort of micromanagement, but this is another type of wingman. This is another act of service. This is another love language. Because what I'm proposing here today, if you look at this whole wingman strategy infographic, is just different faces of the same thing. Love. And love does not only come in the form of your buddy that takes you out for a drink, which is the socialite. Love also comes in the form of the analyst that tracks and measure your performance and go, hey, have you done this? 10 minutes later, excuse me, hey, have you done this? excuse me, have you done this? And you go, I'm going to freaking strangle you, right? It's another face of love that's getting presented to you. And that's how Wingman and Wingwoman works. We're there for each other in all shapes and forms. And that's why some businesses thrive, and that's why some businesses die. The businesses who dies because we stopped giving love, so we're not receiving it. And it's expressing in our business. It's the same with money. When we stop giving love, when we stop giving money, it stopped coming back to us. If we stop doing favors for other people, it stopped coming back to us. And then one day, no one calls us for our birthday, and we don't understand why. And then one day, all our money dries up because we've stopped giving money out to other people. I'm not saying you should empty your bank account. I'm saying help wherever it's possible. I'm not saying give people loans. I'm saying give someone $1 on the street that's maybe asking for it today, right? I'm not saying invest in charity. I'm saying your partners in financial trouble, help them out until they get out of their difficult job and into the dream career they want to. That's the type of stuff I'm meaning. Another one is your confidant. These are the listeners. A rare, rare person. The listener is the person who listens to other people without interrupting, without talking over them. And here's the painful part, without having an answer to their problem. The listener is the one that goes, hey, you've been through a tough time. Come, let's have a coffee. I'll just listen. I don't have the solution, but I'll listen. I'll listen to what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your business, what's going on with your clients, what's going on with your wife, what's going on with your cash flow, what's going on with the illness that you're struggling with. And the more you become people's confidant, the more, poof, like magic, confidence is going to start appearing in your life. You get the internationalist. This is the person who goes around the world. This is the person who gives you world perspective. This is the person who stretches your mind. But more important than anything, this is the person who's different than you. What I'm talking here is about diversity. It drives me crazy that we live in a time now that we define diversity by race and sexual orientation and religion and political party only. Diversity is the very people that think different than you. Diversity is the person that goes for Trump if you goes for Biden. Diversity is the person who got a vax when you decided not to have it. Diversity is the vegetarian when you decide to eat meat. You can't say that you're into diversity if you get upset by every single person that disagree with you. That is the internationalist. The internationalist is the person who's going to open up your mind. The internationalist is going and peek your nose into conversations with people that is radically different than you. If your business is not growing, it's basically expressing to you that you are not growing. What does that mean? It means you're not willing to stretch your mind. You're not willing to stretch your heart. You're hanging out with people like you. It's a tough one, I know. But unless you break through these barriers and become a wingman and wingwoman for people who's very, very different for you, not just in look and appearances, but different in opinion, you're going to stay exactly the way you are. And that means your business is going to stay exactly the way it is. And then last but not least, the broker. The broker, I'm going to read for you. Blow the broker up. I like brokers because brokers bring a lot of money into your business. This wingman already has the trust relationship with your ideal audience or clients. Therefore, they are ideal for joint project proposals and in sharing databases. I built my entire consulting business by stop looking for people who's potentially my clients and start looking for people who have my clients. So if you are willing to build relationships with 100 brokers, real relationships, not fake relationships, real relationships with 100 brokers who already have your audience, your business will change and your life will change. So after that rant, let's wrap up, because I want you to be sure that you're doing it right, and I want you to be sure that you're heading in the right direction. And I think one thing that stood out massively today is it starts with you. There's not something wrong with your business. There's not something wrong with you. But if you want to go to the next level, your mindset has to change. And a big part of that is the way you view your relationship with people. So if you want to put some measurements in place here to make sure that you are in fact changing, then there is some things you can do. There's some recommended activities. Number one, identify 1 to 2 wingmen in your professional network and explore win-win wingman strategies with each other, i.e. start building real, authentic relationships with them where you're curious about them and you want to keep them from this point onwards in your life forever. In other words, there's no hidden agenda. You're not necessarily after their money. You're after a mutually beneficial, loving relationship. Number 2, study these wingman strategies that are shared with you today. Choose your 2 favorites and then deepen your relationships with your top champions. How do we know we have this right? And I can absolutely assure you there's not one person on the call, including me, that got this right. You will know that you are accomplishing building champions around you when you can identify these champions in your professional circle, people that talk about you, they support you, they have regular lunches with you, and they generally have your back. That's not going to happen by itself. You probably going to have to take the first step, and that's what makes you a conscious leader. You're going to probably have to start talking good things behind other people's back. You're going to have to support other people, have regular lunches with them, and make sure they know that you are trusted. Do that, and people will start doing that back for you. And then if you have trusted wingmen present during your business negotiations, sales presentations, networking events, and public appearances, that means you're going to get to a point and look around and go, wow, how did that happen? I'm at an event speaking and there's suddenly people supporting me here. Hey, I'm at a network and there's people standing up saying, oh, you know what, I'm here at the network event today for my product and service, but hey, I see Heather's there and I know Heather, and I just want to quickly tell you about Heather before I even talk about my product and service, right? Or you have people calling you saying, I've not seen you for a while, can we have a lunch? I just want to hear how you're doing. These are usually indications that you are doing it for other people and you are really building a proper ring of steel of wing men, wing women, champions, and ambassadors around you. Now, next we're going to talk about next level clubs. That will be the end of our Ring of Steel series that we spoke about. And so I'll make sure on that call that we sort of bring it all a little bit together, the entire Ring of Steel, and so that you can have a Ring of Steel plan so that you don't have to do things on your own anymore. On that, I'm going to actually stop this